be like them when you just could be you? Why be like them when you just could be you? You can't worry about what they doing, you gotta be you.
Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of the BU Podcast. This is Tanya Harris, and I am your host. Today's guest is Miss Tina Tilton. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what is it that you do?
Oh, hey, Tanya. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on your show today. This is amazing. I've not been in my home studio in a while, so if things go haywire, don't sit and tell you so. But to answer your question, my name is Tina Tilton. I'm a 25 plus year radio and TV veteran. Wow, got started way back in '96 with my first music video show. It's called Video Waves, and it came on. Are you from Memphis? Let me ask you that. Are you from Memphis?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Cablevision?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay, so it came on. Oh, I told you, I did try to warn you that I had a little doggy. It came on Cablevision back in '96, and from '96 until actually '97 is when I got quote unquote discovered by radio, because in 1997, Hot 107, that's owned by Flynn Broadcasting, they signed on as a radio station, and the program director was flipping through the dials through the TV channels, saw me hosting this hip hop music video show, and was like, I'm going to call her and give her an opportunity to work part-time. And I did just that for a few months. However, starting out, I was horrible, bad, horrible. I knew, and I've always loved television. I'm just going to be honest. Television is my true passion. I love television. But when I got behind the radio microphone, I froze up. And I think it was because I couldn't see myself. You know, you can see yourself on TV like now, podcasting, things like that. Mm-hmm. But radio, you just gotta have to feel your way. And it was challenging for me. I was very bad. However, he kept me. He continued to mold me because he said, "You can do this. You can do this." And within a year or so, I was one of the morning show on-air personalities over at Hot 107. So it didn't take long, but it did take some molding.
Okay, great. So what would you say was your favorite thing about being a DJ?
Probably at that time, I did, again, work with two other male hosts because we were a morning show. And morning show, we play pranks, we do songs, we're very creative. So the morning show is fun. It actually sets the standard for the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. And so with that being said, it did allow me to bring out my comedic, even though I'm not comedic. Trust me, I cannot tell a joke, but I know how to write them and send them to other people and say, here, say this will be funny. And that's what I did with the guys. I would give them the content to say or the topic that we're going to discuss. And they were comedians, and they still are comedians locally in town. So they would be the ones to pull off those pranks and pull off those jokes for me, while I was the innocent female in the back saying, "Oh, you two silly boys, y'all so silly," kind of thing. Cut that out. This ain't real, But at the same time, the mastermind behind it was yours truly.
Okay. So in saying that, how would you describe your on-air personality?
Oh, definitely bubbly. Definitely bubbly. But that's how I kind of am in real life, unless I'm sleepy. Mm-hmm. Now, if I'm sleepy, I think everyone probably has an alter ego when they are a little tired. But on air, I like having fun, and I also like sharing my own personal, or should I say, life experiences, because to me it helps relate to the listeners and or viewers, and they're able to connect with you better. Now, when I first got married 18 years ago, my husband said I talked too much and I told too much of our business. But I said, but it's radio. People want to know what's going on in the life. So, oh my goodness, you just tell everybody our business. But at the same time, he knew and understood the industry, and he wasn't upset about it. He was just like, when people would come up to him and say, "I heard your wife say she played Beyonce, listen to you because you don't listen." That song Beyonce called "Listen." He's like, "Oh yeah, my wife." But again, he's been able to embrace the calling, if you will, on my life.
Okay, great. So now you are also the owner of the Podcast Center.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that.
So what's up with the Podcast Center? The Podcast Center, well, a little bit about what we do. We are a production company where we produce audio and video podcasts for individuals and businesses, but that actually came about from all the radio firings, Tanya.
Oh,
And so I'm serious because my radio career has been again Hot 107. I was at Q 107.5 for a minute, and then World Overcomers radio station, that was WLRM. I was at WLOK for maybe a year or so with John Golden and Leon Gray. Did 1 week at Hallelujah with Michael Adrian Davis back in the day. Gosh, where else was I? 88.5, duh. 88.5, I believe, was my final stop in radio. And so after again being replaced by even the celebrity DJs in most cases, you know, you got your, I ain't gonna call their names, but you know the celebrity DJs that are on air right now. And I just found myself like, what to do now? So I did go back to school for maybe a year and a half to teach, believe it or not, because my mom, she retired as a special educator, a special needs educator. And so I was like, you know what, if mama can do it, I can too. And she boosted my, like I could do what she did. Honey, didn't work. It didn't work. So I pulled a Kanye West, Tina Tilton was a college dropout. I have my original degree, which is radio, TV, broadcast, or mass communications. I do have my bachelor's of arts degree in mass communications back in '94. But again, I went back to school to get a second degree, and that just did not work for me. So with that being said, I said, well, at least I'll stay in the education field until I figure out how to financially profit by getting back into radio and or TV. And at that time, I was a substitute teacher for many years. Even when COVID hit, I was still subbing, but I did own the Podcast Center. But in the midst of that, because I knew that I was going to get back into radio somehow, some way, and podcasting became popular, that's when I said, I'm going to open a space for podcasters because this seems to be the direction that the world is going, and I'm going to open up a venue for people to come inside and record their audio and or video podcasts where they don't have to be in their homes and, you know, don't have to invite guests to their homes. You could just bring them up to the office. We have 2 locations. We're at 6510 Stage Road, Suite 2. We're between Kirby Whitten and Alturia. And then we have our newest location on 1069 MLK Drive, MLK Junior Drive. That's not open yet, but we're in the process of getting that. It should be by the end of the year. So we're excited about that.
Okay, great. Okay, so can you tell me how have the radio industry changed over the years and how you adapted to it?
The change of radio. Well,
we can go way back, you know.
I'm telling you. Well, it has definitely changed from again being what I miss the most about radio is its local presence. You know, I have nothing against the very funny and entertaining celebrity radio personalities, but you know, they can't share with us what we were doing. Even when I was at Hot 107, they can't share with us that we saw a lady on Lamar or a dude on Lamar with a dog with the wig on. I've seen it before. Have you seen that man on Lamar with the dog with the wig? You have not. Okay, you have missed a treat. So it's stories like that. You know, you're like, Tina, what you doing on Lamar? Girl, I be everywhere. So it's stories like that you know the local listener can truly relate to because they even if they don't know about or have never seen the man with the dog with the wig, they know about Lamar. You know, we know Lamar. We know what, you know, Southbrook Mall and things like that. Whatever we throw out that's local, you know, they will know and be able to communicate or you know, just They know.
Okay.
So I miss that particular aspect of radio because it has changed. Um, um, I don't know, and maybe somehow, some way it can return. But right now, that is what I miss the most,
Okay.
and what I see or sense the most about the change of radio from '96 until now, 2024. Oh my goodness, we're almost in the 2025, Tanya.
Ooh, what you say? Okay. So now, what would you tell someone that wants to get into the radio industry if they want to be a radio disc jockey?
Hmm? Don't want to be no radio disc jockey. Don't go that route.
Don't
They
go
ain't
there.
hiring. No, they ain't hiring. But now what I can say, and I'm very grateful for Flynn Broadcasting because I am the general manager for two of their radio stations. That would be Bumpin' 96.3, that's our throwback hip hop and R&B radio station, as well as Right On Radio 87.7, that's our classic R&B and soul radio station. And those two stations actually offer least airtime for anyone that does or has ever wanted to be an on-air personality.
Okay.
So with that being said, then yes, you can be a radio personality, but it's not like the days of old when the companies would pay you
Okay.
to be on air. Now it's about leasing that airtime, and you could still have your voice heard. You could still say, whatever it is on your mind. Still bring your personality to your hour-long show because that's what we offer. We offer hour-long radio shows, talk shows, or podcasts on the station, and you can bring those to the listeners. And I'm grateful for that opportunity because especially with both stations, Bumping and Right On Radio, they are bringing that local feel and that local aspect back to radio.
Yeah.
But the tweak or the little piece that's different since it's 2024 is that now stations have gotten smarter and they are now charging, if you will, for that airtime versus paying out personalities.
Okay, got it. Okay, so can you name some people or someone whom you had the pleasure of working with, or is it just someone that you just want to sit down with and pick their brain?
Who have I had the pleasure? I have had the pleasure with working with many people, especially over the years.
Okay.
But I'm gonna tell you who I would like to meet, and they are still on my bucket list. That would be Toni Braxton.
Okay.
I love me some Toni Braxton.
Yeah.
And some old school Jody Watley. Those two ladies have, I know, those two ladies, in my opinion, have truly even shaped my career in a sense because I look at them and I'm like, I feel connected with those two ladies. So if I had an opportunity to pick some brains and just sit down and as they say, shoot the bobo with these two wonderful women that are in the industry, then Jody Watley would be one of them, and Toni Braxton would be my next.
Okay, great. Now I have a question to you. Me. If you can describe your life in a song, what song would you play?
Woo! It depends on the kind of day I'm having. Okay. So like today is going smooth so far. Okay. So I'm gonna choose a song. I forget the singer, daggone it, but she says "Blessed" kind of sums it all up. Okay. You know what I'm talking about? It's I forget again the lady's name, but that song has been out for a few years. Okay. But she's like, I'm truly blessed. I have His favor. I'm blessed. I'm just blessed, and almost like a Jill Scott blessed song. So I'm like that was on my good day that I'm having up. Now, if I'm having a difficult day and a challenging day, many of the people that work with me and around me said, okay, I'm about to pull out my DMX song. And that's party up. That's party up. Because y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here. Y'all gonna make me act a fool up in here. But that is how I feel when I'm having that killer day is. Okay. But other than that, that's why I say I got two songs. Sorry to tell you.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine. That's great. That's great. Okay, do you have anything special going on right now? Any events that you want to talk about or share?
events. Hmm. Well, let me think. I know, but this isn't confirmed in print yet, but I know one of our former podcasters or personalities that was on Right on Radio, 87.7 FM, he is having an event in January where he's having a play, a musical, and Skip Martin, he's been invited, and I'm waiting for him to accept the invitation, but he is the lead singer of the dance band. You
Okay.
know, let it whip it,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
So he's coming here to whip it for our listeners.
Okay.
And but in January, I forget the date, but again, like I told William, I'm like, you need to tell me when your date is. Um, I believe there's something in the works as well in December for Bumper 96.3, but that is Howard Hugh will be kind of overseeing that. So and I do want to send big shout outs to Howard Hugh, Christy Taylor, and all the personalities that are on each station because they are truly the backbone and they hold everything down.
Okay.
So and I would say, as far as events, upcoming events, though, 2025, probably look for a few more events that perhaps did not happen, so to speak, in 2024. But we have such a small team that it can be challenging sometimes to pull off some of the bigger things that you have in mind. So we just kind of nitpick on what we're going to be a part of and just make the best of it. So I'm excited. I'm pretty optimistic about 2025.
Okay, great, great. Okay, lastly, where can the audience find you? What's your stations, websites, Facebook? How can they find?
Hey, let's see. Okay, Facebook, Tina Tilton.
Okay.
Now that question I should have probably been prepped on because I'm not good with social media.
Okay, that's
I'm not good
fine.
with social media at all. So I'm gonna take a wild guess though. Facebook, it is Tina Tilton. Instagram, I believe it's Tina Tilton Radio TV.
Okay.
Definitely on all the radio stations. So Bumper 96 is, well, www, obviously. Bumper963.com. Right on Radio is rightonradiofm.com. The podcast center at gmail.com.
Okay.
I feel like Tamar Braxton now, like .com. Dot this back in some of their first seasons. But anyway, but yeah, it's pretty much. I mean, if you click Tina Tilton, not a very popular, so to speak, name, so you'll see this face.
Okay.
If you just kind of type in Tina Tilton, you should find me.
Okay, and the radio station is 87.7, right?
FM, that is Right on Radio.
Okay.
Right on Radio is 87.7 FM. That's where we play. We got the old school hits
I
on
love
that one.
station.
Aretha Franklin. Yeah, you love the station. Okay.
I love that
Aretha
station.
Franklin,
Yes.
Temptations and things of that nature. And I call that one my mama station. I'll tell you how that one actually came about because because Bumpin' actually was first. They were the first station that I was approached with by Flame Broadcasting to say, hey, do you think you and your team can manage and operate the station for us? And so mom, she and I'll tell you how Right on Radio came, because I call that her station.
Okay.
Mom and I, we were driving one day and she was listening to her favorite AM radio station. And I said, and the station started to get a little staticky and go out and this and that. I said, Mom, you should consider buying Sirius radio or something, satellite radio for your car so that you could hear your classics throughout undisturbed, uninterrupted. And my mama said, I ain't buying no radio for my car. And at that point, a little light bulb went off in my head because I said, you know what? Since I've just had this conversation with Flynn Broadcasting regarding bumping, because I knew that when I knew bumping was going to be something that we were about to manage and operate because they had already contacted me to do so. So we knew we were about to get into the bumping realm. But when Mom said that, and I started to think, I said, there's no FM station for the for listeners in Memphis 55 plus, or for my mama. So went back to the team and I said, hey, you all may want to consider this station. And said they told me no for 6 months until finally that 6th month, and was like, you know what? Okay, let's entertain this station. Basically, let's do it. And I tell you, that station has been really, the citizens of Memphis, Tennessee are really, really enjoying the classics, because that's what they truly are. That, like, there's nowhere that you're going to be able to find Diana Ross, I Want Muscles. They ain't gonna play that. Yes. They ain't gonna play that. Yes. And then there's one song by, I believe it's the OJs. Nope, the Intruders. And I laugh at this song because I said, Mama, this song is for you. It said, I'll always love my mama. I said, this you. This is my song to you, Mama. And here's your radio station. So, if nothing else, that will always be something that I know that I can say that I've given my mama, as a gift, if you will. But her gift has actually impacted the entire Memphis market. So I'm grateful for that, for Mama saying, I ain't buying no radio.
Okay. All right. Well, this has been such a pleasure. Is there anything else you'd like to share, or any tips before we go?
I want to send, I'm going to send some shout outs, if you will. I want to send a shout out to my husband, Sam Pope. I call him my Christian rock star, because that's what he is. He's a minister of music at Mount Zion Baptist Church out in on Dalewood. So big shout outs to him for that. And I want to thank him for supporting me. I want to say, hey, and shout outs to my daughter, Tanya. You ain't going to believe God had a trick. He had a joke played for me. My daughter's 10 years old. I'm 52. You do the math, okay? She's the only baby.
Okay.
Sometimes we get asked, is that your grandmama? That's your grandmama? No, grandmama.
That's your mama.
Ain't her grandmama. He ain't here. He ain't her granddad. We're her parents.
Oh, that's a blessing.
But we didn't see it coming. Again, after 18 years of being married, we just didn't know. We were fostering. We had even got to a point where we didn't know if we were going to have children or not. So we began fostering. We fostered for 13 years. So even when our baby was born, she only knew children in the house. So this is probably her 3rd year not having children in the house. And she's, so girl, Mom and Daddy are finished, honey. We're going to have to buy you a friend after this, because we are done. We are done. But it has been a real treat, and because of that experience, I'm a big advocate of Youth Village's foster care agency. So if anyone truly has a desire to have a child or foster children, trust me, the need is there. We just wanted to spend some time alone with our child so we could teach her our values. Okay. And then maybe somewhere along life's journey, as she's solid in what we've taught her, maybe along life's journey, we may return to that. But just right now, we felt that it would be best for us to just focus solely on her, get her acclimated with, again, our values, and then we may consider it. Maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
But
thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being on this show, for agreeing to it. It's been such a pleasure. All right. And I would like to thank you all for tuning in to the BU podcast. This is Tanya Harris, and I salute your business.
I be like them when you just could be you. I be like them when you just could be you. You can't worry about what they doing. You gotta be you. You can't worry about what they doing. You gotta be you.